Okay, is Mary's mic still up? Yes. So you do have a microplane.
Yes, I do.
When you are getting down close with a garlic clove or maybe some nutmeg or fresh ginger, do you get nervous about barking your fingers with the blades?
Yes, I do. My guts get a little cringy, is what I say to my husband.
You know what I get? I get what happens when I get up high. I get needle legs.
Yes.
And I'm like, no thanks. Yeah. These gloves are kitchen safety gloves that are cut resistant. They're not puncture resistant. But if I'm on this microplane and getting down to the bottom of this fresh ginger, I don't need to worry so much about my fingers getting barked on these super sharp blades. The same would be true if I'm over here with my block of cheddar cheese making some delicious macaroni and cheese. I don't need to worry about getting down to the last little bit of the cheese and worrying about barking my fingers on these sharp grates. This is what these gloves are all designed to do. They're from Microplane. They're made by the folks that make the sharp zesters. And this is going to help you be safer in the kitchen. Now, I have meat hooks the size of a gorilla. And these are all one size fits most. So if these are going to fit me, you know they're going to fit everybody out there. Now, I have color choices, and the colors will be around the top edge of the glove. So this is your blue. Maybe if I turn them this way, you can see them better. There's the blue. Here's the red. And finally, here's the black. This is genius. I'll tell you, we all have little phobias. And for me, I hate cutting my hands when I'm cooking, now more than ever. So let's have something that keeps us safer in the kitchen. Chef Jeremy Parker is back with yet another great idea. Chef Jeremy, these are genius, and they're made by the folks that make the microplanes.
That's right. And you know, a lot of people don't cut themselves necessarily slicing with the knife. It's these tools. It's these peelers, these T-peelers, your planes, your box graters. And what happens is you get too low. If you've ever tried to peel ginger, you know what I'm talking about. It's an awkward shape. There's little nooks and crannies. You're dealing with one of these guys. Well, these are cut resistant. These are polyethylene woven gloves. They have a test, which they call the EN388 level 5 cut resistant test. So what that means is that a blade's not going to cut it. Now, like you said, David, don't stab it with the knife. It's not stab resistant, but it is blade cut resistant. So you could do these fine things. But David, for me, I was so excited to get these because these are my go-to seafood gloves. So if you're buying oysters are in season right now. If you've ever had to wrap a towel around your hand there to try and do this is one of my first jobs, David, was actually shucking oysters. So I love this because I can get in here, get in under that thing. Don't worry about that. Pop that oyster up. Then I can cut, this is a little bit of a brittle guy here. And then I can cut that muscle off of there, come down here and not worry about getting my hand. See there? So for shucking oysters, or also, David, for crab legs. I mean, you know, these things, these spiky bits, use your gloves. Don't worry about your hands. I can crack this here. I can use my little cracker here, open that guy up and get that piece of meat out of there. And you're not going to cut or poke your fingers by doing it. So you'll love it for your seafood.
And you know what? I mean, this is something that I deal with because you all know how much I love mac and cheese, and I make it a lot at my house. And so this is something that I always work. You know, when I get down to this part of the cheese, Jeremy, I just chuck that whole great big piece in the casserole dish. I'm like, I figure it'll melt. So, I mean, why run the risk of barking my fingers or cutting the ends of my fingers? And you know, when you cut your fingertips, they bleed like a stuck pig forever, right? So this is going to be a way for me to get in here with my cheese, and when I get down to the last little bit, not having to worry about that so much, because my hands are more protected. Now, does this mean I can take a knife and stab my hand with it? No. These are not puncture resistant. But what they're designed to do is put a layer of protection between you, your skin, and the sharp object. And so these are designed to make you safer in the kitchen. Now, Microplane is the company that makes all these great zesters and planes, plane graters and whatnot that so many of us use and we have featured here on QVC forever. So the same company that makes those sharp implements make these gloves, because they know the number one reason that most people shy away from using these is because they're afraid they're going to cut themselves. So this is something that helps you be safer in the kitchen. Now, I have color choices for you, and you're going to be shopping by the color trim on the gloves. Remember, these are all one size fits most. Here's the blue, most limited. Here's red. And finally, here's the black. Chef Jeremy, when these get dirty, and they will, how do we wash them?
You know, I'll do it right now. If you come over here, if we follow this, I wash them just like I'm washing my hands. I think we got this. Okay. So just at the sink, because a lot of times I don't want to mix in that oyster juice or that seafood. So I just a little soap and water here. And then the only thing you don't want to do is you don't want to put these in your dryer. So just let these air dry. But this is just my way, because when you're done, pull these off and just air dry them out. And that's all. That's the way I always do them. So.
And this is the part where we get nervous. We come down to the bottom last little piece of the brick of cheese. I have a good amount of cheese in here. I could make a kicking cheese sauce with this. But what's amazing, you get down to this part and then you start getting nervous. You're like, I'll just break this up myself, or I'll eat it, or I'll do something because I don't want to run the risk of cutting myself. This way you can just get right in here and finish grating the rest of the cheese. And Chef Jeremy, I don't mean to make you jealous, but look at all that delicious cheese.
Oh my gosh.
I'm ready for a cheese sauce, boys and girls. Hello. That is fantastic. Chef Jeremy, let's see, how many have we seen with you so far? 3? We have 2 more?
I think so, 3.
We have 2 more items with you, young man. So don't go anywhere, okay?
All right.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much. Let's update you on the brand launch of Chop 21.